You know, the fine for running a stop sign in the state of Oregon is $265, but you know what? That deterrent seems to have very little effect on drivers.
This story may really surprise you. Tony has more in today's Behind the Wheel.
What are red and white and ignored all over? Well, unfortunately, stop signs.
A fair number of drivers come to a near stop, but I think it's a very small percentage that come to a full and complete stop.
Call it a rolling stop, a California stop, or just reckless driving. Regardless, nobody likes it, but everybody seems to do it.
If we're talking about that textbook definition of a complete stop, I'd say it's actually probably pretty low.
Portland got its first stop sign in 1915, around the time when cars started to replace the horse and buggy. The shapes and colors of stop signs have changed over the years, but the red octagon shape that most of us recognize has been the standard in the U.S. since 1954. Unfortunately, recognizing the stop sign and complying with it appear to be completely unrelated.
If you're not taking the time to come to a complete stop, then you're not taking the time to look both ways substantially and sufficiently to really see what other hazards might be coming.
And although the offense may seem minor, the results can be tragic.
If you're just rolling up and rolling through it, you may make a quick glance, but you're going to miss that child coming off the sidewalk, or a dog walking off the sidewalk, or another car coming.
Hundreds of thousands of crashes happen every year when drivers run stop signs. About 1/3 result in injuries.
I was on a crash yesterday at an intersection with a four-way stop, and the neighbors were very upset by it.
Some drivers will claim that if they stop at a stop sign at certain intersections, their view of traffic is blocked by a tree or a bush. Well, that's no excuse.
If they need to, they can roll forward a little bit and come to another stop at the edge of the intersection where it's safe to do so before they enter, to make sure they do have that clearance.
The fine for running a stop sign in Oregon is $265. Enforcement is challenging. There are far more stop signs than there are police to monitor them.
They can file an online traffic complaint, and then those get filtered out by our traffic department as well. And then they try and make a focus on those kind of areas where complaints are higher or where crash data might support more enforcement as well.
Of course, none of this would be necessary if drivers just did the right thing.
Please stop. It's a safety issue. I don't want to see them get hurt and crash their car injured. I don't want to see them hurt somebody else and have to deal with that. It would really be nice if everybody just obeyed the law and came to a complete stop.
Tony Martinez, Fox 12 Oregon. Literally, while we were standing there shooting that story, people were running the stop signs.
Crazy.
Right.
And I'm standing there with a cop. So, like,
Right.
I mean,
Well, I was saying,
crazy.
you know, when we were talking about this in the break, I wonder how many people feel like they think they're stopping, but they don't pause long enough to come to a complete. But they think, okay, I hit the brake, I can see, I go.
Right.
If their car isn't really stopped, I mean, you wonder.
Yeah, and as Officer Davis mentioned, in Tiger, that's where he works. They have a system in place where you can make, file a complaint, try and get something done. If your neighborhood, people are always running the stop signs, and they can kind of look into it. I'm sure other jurisdictions do as well, but just check into it and see. But
could be why they have all those roundabouts now, because that's more of a yield your way into it.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
No, and I think people sometimes prefer those because they feel like they're going to keep moving.
Well, and a big safety issue too, right? With people not running stop signs and going through. So yeah.
I know I'm going to pay more attention. I mean, I feel like I stop at stop signs.
I want to know.
I know. I feel like I stop.
New Year's resolution, complete stop, every stop sign, every time. I challenge you.
Yes,
We're
I
on it,
think I
Tony.
do it, but I'm going to pay attention today.
All right, we are good to go. Let's go.